We're taking a look at the Village and Pillage update. Well, obviously the villages have been a little bit ignored, so let's take a look at every village building. Hey guys, it's Chad. Very excited to be looking at new buildings in Minecraft. Exploring is one of the basic, amazing parts of Minecraft, and coming across a village early on in my Minecraft lifetime was really, really cool to see all of the buildings. But then, you know what? You learned everything there was to learn, and it got real boring real fast. So now with the Village and Pillage update, we're getting new villages, and that means a ton new buildings were just released. So let's take a look at every single new building. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and this is a new village, one of the newer looking villages in Minecraft. This one's interesting because it butts up against this roofed forest. So these are only plains. Plains villages are the only ones that have been updated as of now. And we're gonna go through every single one of these buildings. I do want to mention, for anybody else trying to find these, there's a new command. You have always had the locate command, but if you thought you would locate this by typing in village, you will only ever find the old villages, like this one. Look how ugly. Ugly!
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
So you have to use the locate new _village. Otherwise, you'll be flying around in a creative world for like 30 minutes trying to find one with the old command. Also not like my game keeps crashing. Forget all that naturally generated stuff. Here we are in a super flat world that shows off every single building to the new villages. Now, I did not spawn in absolutely every single thing because there's like roads and just patches of grass that just don't mean anything. So these are all the exciting, cool stuff in alphabetical order, no less. These structure files are broken up within the game into a whole bunch of different categories. We have homes, which are the first 3 rows here. We have streets, which I don't have any in there. Terminators, which I don't have any. Those are like the ends of roads and stuff like that, terminating the road. Town centers, which is this 4th row right here. And villagers, which I don't have in here at all. And then not in a category at all is this little torch. Another thing that is very, very apparent is that these jigsaw blocks, which still don't seem to have a use for map makers yet. They are obviously being used for the development of the game, but as creators, we can't really use these as of now. We do see a UI for this, and it's pretty obvious that kind of what's going on here. There's an attachment type, which is kind of what it is looking for to attach to, what this block will turn into once it has been loaded in, and then also the type of pool that this could be used from. So this is a building entrance attachment type. That's what most of those are that you're seeing. But you can see right here that this is a bottom attachment type, and we've seen also a lot of these structures that are really just, they don't have anything except for a few jigsaw blocks that will kind of attach all these to. So basically these are points at which other things can attach to. So right here, this is a bottom, this is a bottom decor. So you can kind of have, this is animals, decor again, animals, and animals. So each one of these could be something else like decor. So all of this is basically a point at which something else could spawn. So this is the empty pool. It's a bottoms, and it turns into an oak fence. So basically this would attach to something over there, which would attach to something over there. And that's how this all gets sort of built out, is by using these jigsaw blocks as connection points, the town can build itself. I'm just going to ignore them moving on. In fact, I might even break them to kind of show off what's going on. So first off, we have this little accessory. All it is a little flower bed. Moving on to an animal pin. These are to keep obviously animals in, and some of these jigsaws are for, that one's for a tree actually, but this would be for any type of animal. So pigs might spawn in there, any of the animals. So like pigs, chickens, cows, like those guys. We have an animal pin number 2. Sometimes, by the way, these are what the structure files are named. So underneath here, I have a structure block. I have left off the planes underscore in all of them just so that they can all fit on the sign. So imagine planes underscore in front of all of these signs, but that is the animal pin number 2. Is the animal pin number 3. This one's kind of cool because it has a little bit of water in it. Moving on, this is the armorer's house. So inside of the armorer's house, looks pretty cool. It uses these new smooth stone blocks, and it has a blast furnace inside of here as well. At the moment, the blast furnace does not have a UI. Next is a big house. And yeah, it's pretty large if I do say so myself. Now, what is interesting is some of these structures have a floor. So this one has, you know, dirt and whatnot on the bottom of it and a floor. This one, though, does not. The big house, it's just, you know, it just is itself is the layer. That's where it starts. So there's no floor underneath. There is a second story with a chest inside, and all of these loot tables. By the way, these are for villagers. All these loot tables, I can show you another one. Nothing super duper awesome inside of there. Now we have the butcher shop. Inside the butcher shop, we have a smoker and a little table with a little plant and also a little exit, another exit where this would spawn in some butcher animals specifically. Next is the butcher shop twos. Apparently I put an S in that sign, but this is the second butcher shop. Up here, we have another smoker. This one's outline is way different, and I really like how that looks. I love how almost all of these now have chimneys, fake chimneys, obviously, but just the silhouette of each one of these buildings is very, very different. And so I think that it looks way nicer than it used to. I feel like the Minecraft team should just add chairs at this point. There's so many things that kind of look like chairs but aren't chairs. This is the cartographer house. So inside of here, you have the cartography table. And let me go ahead and pick up this chest I just picked up with the NBT data still on it. So you can kind of see what a lot of these chests are going to have inside of them. You got some empty maps in the cartographers. You got a compass, some tree saplings, bread, and that is about it. So that is all the cartography chests inside of there. Next is the Fisher's Cottage, and I did add myself some barriers because this water was flying everywhere. But the Fisher's Cottage is super adorable. It has a little bit of a pond around it, tons and tons of these barrels. Inside it even has a little moat, a little trough as well inside of there. Whoever this guy is, he really, really, really likes water. I really love the design of that, and I think that is super duper adorable. Next, we have the Archer's, the Fletcher's house, or the Archer, that has the fletching table inside and nothing else. It kind of has it has like a little cross section look and has a little bit of wool, and you'll see that color, that yellow color throughout a few of the builds. So that, I believe, is the plains color, the color of the plains people. Next is a large farm. There's another farm, and the reason they're not together is because it's an alphabetical order, and large comes before farm. So there you go. That is a large farm, big ol' area for growing crops. Next, you have the library, and this is an epic. I mean, look how awesome this thing is. I'd be happy to have this library. It has some lecterns inside of here, a whole bunch of books. Then it goes up to a kind of minimal second story that goes out to the balcony, which you could just jump right on off. But that is a really, really good looking build right there. Next is the second library number 2. This has 2 different entrances, 1 lectern, a few books there, a better, I would say, second story, as well as a little entrance here. You cannot jump off of that because the stairs get in your way. I really, really think that both of these are really cool. I don't know why libraries have to have balconies. Apparently that is absolutely needed when it comes to balconies, when it comes to libraries in Minecraft. Next, this is the Mason house. This is a white terracotta house. There's a few other white terracotta buildings. So those aren't the only white terracotta buildings in the plains, but this is the first one we have seen here. Inside is a little bit of stuff you would expect for masonry, and so you got some of the clay and just normal old terracotta, and you also have the stone cutter, which has that animation now, which is fairly new. It's a few updates old. Next, you have the medium house number 1, and this is very reminiscent of the previous sort of medium house. It's like this one just got a nice little facelift with the stripped logs right there and a lot of little tables in here. Why don't they just make chairs already? Here is medium house number 2. This looks like McDonald's to me. This is totally a McDonald's. Inside of here is a chest. It has a little bit of food. These are for villagers. And let's go ahead and spawn down a few of these chests so we can look at what normally spawns inside of there. Looks like emeralds every once in a while, but other than that, apples, potatoes, and bread. Oh, we got some saplings and dandelions. Yeah, oh, in a book. Yeah, this guy reads a little bit. And some golden nuggets. Okay, so there's actually quite a lot of things that you could possibly get from one of these medium houses. Yeah, emeralds, I just saw a feather, but I also just saw this, whatever this, a poppy. Oh my gosh. Okay, some pretty cool stuff in that medium house there. Now we get to meeting points. Now, I don't know what happened to meeting point 1 through 3, but we start with meeting point 4. So there are some lost meeting points out there somewhere. These are sort of like, there's another area called town centers, okay? But these are basically areas for meeting and for gathering. They just look like really nice common spaces for the villagers to hang out in. You got a little bell. Maybe that's a maybe that's a warning bell. Whenever the raid happens, then all of a sudden, bang, bing, 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 bing. Oh my gosh, ring that bell. But yeah, these are pretty adorable. Next, we have meeting point number 5. Still not sure what happened to all the other meeting points. Then we start with houses. This is the shepherd's. Oh no, we're not quite there. Shepherd's house. This obviously is going to be wool, filled with wool and looms. There you go. That's a nice natural spot for looms to spawn. This is the other farm, which is classic, super classic. Now we start with all the homes. I misspoke. Small house 1 through 8. You go all the way down here to 8. So let's take a look at all of these. First house, pretty basic, just some cobble, nothing really inside. Next one, this is the other white terracotta, has a really sad looking table in there. Next one is a mix between cobble and logs. Same sort of situation here, just a little bit different. Those look very, very similar, just a little bit of a different roof line. This is a nice looking house. This is starting to get into the medium house territory. If you have 2 stories, okay, that's a little bit crazy. But you have these carpets with nothing underneath. You have a little loft with a ladder. Villagers cannot walk up ladders, so that is going to be a little bit difficult for them to get up there. Next one has some little flowers. Isn't that just super duper adorable? And a 1 block as a table, nothing in the ceiling. This one has a double door and a chest. Let me grab that chest and we can look at the loot table here. Nothing else really inside of there. And then finally, this small house number 8, where I added some barrier blocks just to make sure that water doesn't flow out. But there is a little bit of, what is this? Wheat on either sides and nothing really much inside. So on the small house number 7, let's take a look at what might be inside of these chests here. Looks like mostly, yeah, this is all the same stuff that we saw before. So same loot table in that house as the one over here. Now we are starting with the next line, and this starts with a stable. And I'd say this look. I haven't seen. I mean, I'm glad that they're using the stairs, upside down stairs and stuff like that. There's a little trough back here for the horses. This would be for animals to spawn. I would assume that these animals are going to be bigger animals like cows and stuff like that, things that actually might need to be in a stable, and of course horses as well. But you have another trough back here that bunny, by the way, it spawned because we're in a desert biome right now. But we've got some more animals and even more animals. Both of those are pretty cool. We've obviously, players have to build stables. We've never seen naturally generated stables in Minecraft before, and I really do like the build. Did they hire a builder? That's pretty awesome. Next, we have the tannery. This is where you would normally get your leather turned into leather. Wait, you get your hide turned into leather. So you have a little cauldron here, and that is really it. Let's take a look at this and see if there is anything new in here. Oh, these are empty chests. Wait a second. I don't think I grabbed the correct NBT data. There we go. And okay, so there we go. Leather supplies is another place to get some saddles. We also have some emeralds and bread, and of course all of the leather supplies. No one uses leather. That's so sad. Okay, next we are moving on to Temple. I do not know what happened to Temple 1 and 2, but we are starting with Temple number 3. Inside of here is a brewing stand. We see that color once again, white and yellow, and it's pretty basic from within. Now we're on to Temple 4, same sort of color scheme there. Inside we still have another brew stand. We have these ladders like we did in the previous one. This is basically an updated classic temple is what I would expect. Also, these don't have anything in them. These are not like the brewing stands that are in the end dimension. These are just basic old brewing stands. Next is the toolsmith. Toolsmith has the smithing table inside of there. Nice double door entrance. Then the weaponsmith, and this looks like the old school version, an updated old school blacksmith. So the weaponsmith is the new blacksmith. Inside of here, there is a chest just like before, where you always had that chest, except that it has an updated roof line, which I really, really like, and a little bit of a chimney right there. Also, this has the repair and disenchant. This is the grindstone. Yes, the grindstone. So it spawns with that automatically. There's going to be a video all about the grindstone later on. Now we have the town centers. These town centers are kind of the basic things, especially this well right here is the basic thing that you've always kind of seen in the middle of a village. We start off with fountain number 1. Basic Minecraft fountain, if I do say so myself. Come on, guys, we can get a little bit more creative with the cobblestone. Next is meeting point number 1, which is the old school well, and there is a well bottom that will make that a little bit deeper. Then we have the meeting point number 2. This looks very similar to the other ones over there. Wait, are these meeting points? Wait, meeting point 1 and 2. Was this also named meeting point? I thought this was a town center. Oh, that's where why they put them in a different folder? Okay, well, hey, mystery solved! Mystery solved! I was wondering why these look so familiar, but anyway, there's meeting point 2, has some more stalls for selling stuff, I guess, but also bells. We see lots of bells in these builds. I really like this tree with the 2 bells on either side. This is meeting point number 3. Looks really, really, really cool. And then finally, as we saw at the very, very beginning, we have the lamp, and this lamp would just be added around wherever there's some decor stuff. There might be a lamp, and also on the streets as well, there could also be lamps there. So all in all, we have lots and lots and lots of structures in the new villages. So a lot of potential with seeing new stuff. And possibly you might want, while you're out and about adventuring, to find one of these buildings, to find one of the blocks inside. So you may have to go from village to village to do something with that. So you'd really hope that, oh my gosh, I really hope a library spawns so I can get a lectern or something like that. I could totally see that. No official word, obviously. I'm just totally speculating why you might want so many buildings in your villages. And I assume that for all of the biomes that we currently have villages in, we are going to get different looks and different feels for those buildings. They could be the exact same building, just with the wood and things replaced, or they could be completely new designs. They could, the Minecraft team could really do whatever the heck they want. I just noticed there's a little itty bitty window right there. That's adorable. So we don't know. We could see some massively different builds coming out very soon, just like how these are massively different than what we currently have in the villages. Or they could just be block replaced versions of what we have now. Only time will tell. There you go. Hope you enjoyed it. I definitely learned a little bit from making this episode. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Also, make sure that you leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. We'll see you next time. Bye.